Hey guys, just want to go over December 29th gap trading, fair value gaps. So I got a folder here, all the 2 to 3 p.m. New York times. So yeah, let's check it out. Start at the beginning, Euro Australian. So I got the gaps set to start here an hour before the session begins, and then just for the whole session. So pretty much at the end of the session, here's some of the rules I made. We'll just go over the rules. Enter after 2 fair value gaps start. So you don't count this first one, but so here's 2 fair value gaps here, really close together. And then, so that's gapping downwards. So then you'd go in for the sell. So you'd enter somewhere right after. And this one turned out just to be a 1-to-1, which is okay. And I wrote this here. Remember, price can retrace to past fair value gaps, which is exactly what it did here, retrace to the middle. So you can kind of have that mentality in mind and expect it to draw to this area. Fair value is ideal. You don't want the fair value gaps to be ranging with different colors. Makes for difficult entry. You can also wait for a pullback if the stop loss looks too large. And don't be afraid to re-enter, because that's usually what happens. Like in this case here, our TP was hit or our stop loss was hit, maybe went break even or whatever, and then you go in for a re-entry after 2 fair value gaps form once again, so that's right here, and then you hit your TP. And you could even enter again after that because we're like still pretty early into this whole setup. So yeah, we could even start from this slide here. So that's what happened on UJ on the 1 minute. And next slide, same thing. 3 enters. Interesting how it relates to this fair value gap back here, right? Really interesting. Next slide, AU. Stop loss was hit, then the runner happens. Your target can be down for this area here. GU, stop loss was hit. 3 more entries. You don't have to do every entry like that. You could wait until, closer to silver bullet hour. Definitely do your own back testing and check things out. Fair value gap 1 and then 2. Go for the entry. This white line here, I wrote after these stop losses are taken, usually has a big move, and that pretty much goes for any pair. Something to always keep in mind. So if you went for the entry after that, get another good runner. Next pair, GJ, similar setup. Actually, that's the same screenshot. AJ, next pair. 2 fair value gaps, go for the entry. Get some good RRRRs. TP can be to that swing low. I haven't done too much looking into the TP targets, so that's something I'm still playing around with. More so just looking at entries right now. So you got 2 fair values right here. So you might have entered here and got stopped out. Might have even entered here, got stopped out again. And this one here is your runner. Could have did a tighter stop loss even. But you can tell it's really interesting. Here's a little fair value gap here, so it draws to that. So having said that, you could always keep that in mind, but sometimes it doesn't always draw to that. So little fair value gap here on NAS 100 and reaches back into it. Couple entries, might have got some TPs hit there on the first one. TP here on this one. Next slide. Gold. Fair value gap reaches into it. fair value gap here reaches into it. And like I said, this fair value gap setup, it's set for 1 hour before the silver bullet hour starts. Bitcoin, 2 fair value gaps, entry. SPX 500, fair value gap here, dips into it. Could have re-entered after these two, got the runner. So same thing with every slide, guys, but really interesting. And this is the last trading session, if you'd call it that, the last few hours New York's open of the year. So it should be pretty sporadic, but it's when I was testing it against other days, it seems to kind of act the same. So interesting. GCAD, UCAD, CADJ, USHIF. Couple of re-entries, and then you get the old freaking runner on the DXY. Euro Japanese yen. Chef is Japanese yen. Little choppy. Might want to avoid these choppy ones because it just continues to be choppy. New Zealand JPY. Choppiness comes out with a runner. Euro New Zealand. Euro Australian. 1 minute chart. Euro CAD. I always thought this was interesting. If you make a little box, if it seems like it's ranging a bit, make a box, and then when it comes out of that box, it seems to go in that direction for a while. Retest the box here, continues on. Interesting. That happens pretty often when you do get a bit of ranging like that. But yeah, 2 fair value gaps, enter. Booyah. 2 fair value gaps, entry, TP hit, reverses, 2 fair value gaps, re-enter, get a little runner. You could even experiment with doing like an even tighter stop loss, doing it just maybe between the two. Then after it starts to consolidate, maybe even go for another move if you're feeling frosty. Euro G, got ranging here, comes out with a nice move after. New Zealand CAD. New Z, USD, New Z, USD. West Texas oil. 2 fair value gaps here. Go for the sell. And that's it. So yeah, hope you guys had this found this helpful. If you do, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want. Yeah, peace. See you next time.